This is the Warminster Town Football Club Supporter Podcast. This is the podcast by supporters for supporters. We bring you match reports, interviews and much more. We travel both home and away to bring you the excitement of non-league football to wherever you are. Welcome along to the Warminster Town Football Club Supporter Podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Roland Millward, and we'll be taking a look at what's happened over the weekend, what's coming up, the league tables, plus our special guest of the week. Don't go away. Hiya, Jamie. How are you?
Not bad, thank you.
Good to hear. Now, we'll just review really the weekend's football, both from the point of view of the men's first team and the ladies who played on Sunday. So we'll kick us off with the men's, and it was six of the best.
It was, yeah, very, very good performance from Warminster, certainly in the second half. First half was a bit more of an even playing field, I think we could say. Warminster didn't really sort of fire up in the first half, but second half, banged home 5 goals. I mean, we should, really be beating bottom of the league, let's be honest. But, Devizes put up a decent fight of it in the first half. And like I said, maybe we didn't quite fire up in the first half. Jack Millock did get one. And then the second half, we just came out and were scoring for fun.
Yeah, indeed. And we'll be talking to our guest of the week about that in a moment, who is Harry Barnes. So we look forward to listening to Harry. He'll just briefly mention what happened perhaps at half time that may have changed things slightly on that front. So 6-0, good result. What about the ladies team?
Well, they travelled away to Bath City Youth, and they've had a bit of an up and down season. They've taken some heavy defeats this season, but the girls went down there and came out 3-0 winners. Yeah,
and it was 0-0 at half time, which surprised me from the games they have played previously.
Yes, it surprised me too. Yeah, considering the amount of goals that Bath City have shipped, I was expecting maybe a slightly larger scoreline, but they obviously, did themselves justice. Yeah. And Town managed to turn it around, get a bit fired up again in the second half, and get 3 goals in the win.
Yeah, according to the Twitter feed, I believe they had 1 disallowed as well. So certainly a good second half for the ladies. And we'll talk about their league position in our league table review shortly. So we have come to that situation now, of course, that on Saturday we're all waiting for the announcement from the Prime Minister, which was well and truly leaked in advance, so we all knew what was going to be said. And we've now come to that lockdown situation starting just after midnight on Wednesday. So that's a bit of a blow for the next 4 weeks, isn't it, in our footballing weekends?
Yeah, it's a shame, really, having, just sort of really got into a rhythm now, and suddenly it's all going to be stopped again. It's, it sucks.
It does, but we've got one more match to come, and again, we'll talk about that after we've heard from our guest of the week, Harry Barnes. So we'll go over to Harry now, so don't go away, Jamie. We'll be back very soon. Coming up next, it's our guest of the week. So we are delighted to have on the podcast Harry Barnes. Harry, how are you doing?
I'm good, Roland. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Very well indeed, especially having watched 6 glorious goals on Saturday against Devizes Town. Well done, boys, on that, we say, don't we?
Yeah, no, it was a great result for the boys, especially obviously losing 3-0 to Welton the week before. We needed that response, and I think we give it to all the fans and especially all the management staff, and obviously for each other, knowing that we could do it. So yeah, it was really good.
Excellent. Well, we're going to wind back in history now. That's obviously modern times, but we'd just like to really find out a little bit about your footballing background, how you started, who you've played for, that kind of thing, and just get our fans up to date with a little bit about Harry Barnes. So it's up to you, Harry. Fire away.
So starting from a young age, I've always been involved with Yeovil Town Football Club. I was been around them since probably about 8 years old, and I played all the way through to under 18s football with Yeovil. Had brief spells in the academy. Obviously didn't get very far. I was hit with quite a few injuries at the academy, so obviously I had to drop back down. And I've been in and around Tool Station football. I had a brief spurt at Frome Town, which obviously in the Southern Prem at the moment, or Southern Div 1. I had a brief spell there, and had a brief spell at Cheddar. And then when Krabby left Frome and come to Warminster, he straight on the phone to me and asked if I wanted to come over to Warminster, and I've played at Warminster for 3 years now, I believe. This is my third season, so I'm absolutely loving it.
Good, that's nice to hear. So, thinking about that, your experience coming to Warminster and you're loving it, how are you finding the current group of players? Getting on every so well by the looks of it to me.
Yeah, no, the lads are great. Obviously, from last season's disappointment of where we finished, or where obviously COVID and things stepped in, or come in, shall I say, and we didn't obviously finish as best as what we should have. Again, we've lost a few players, but again, we've gained some superb players, which obviously it's amazing to be gelling as such a good team.
Yeah, that's good. And I say we're certainly seeing that on the pitch. Yeah, you get the odd blip. We had a blip at Welton, but fought back at Devizes on the form front, really, particularly the second half, wasn't it? It was a major improvement there. And we've had a good start to the season. So all in all, no one could be too disappointed with the league table, really.
Yeah, no, it's been good. We've played obviously majority of top half of the table anyway, or teams who are all pushing for, the teams that we played have been mainly pushing for promotion or the top half of the table, and actually to get results off virtually nearly all of them, obviously apart from Welton, which was a bit of a disappointment. Apart from that, we've done really well, and obviously where we're sat at the moment with a few games in hand as well is really quite good.
It is, yes, and it's sad that this lockdown's come just at this moment in time, but there's not a lot we can do about that. We've still got one game left as we record this, which is the Wiltshire Cup match on Wednesday. We're recording this on a Monday, so we've still got one more football game before we have to sort of wait for a little bit for the next one. Wiltshire Cup, how do you see that going? We've got a team coming along called Luggershaw. We have to pronounce it that way. It's Luggershaw Sports. Apparently, there's also a Luggershaw United. Do you know anything about them at all?
To be quite honest, my drive is about 40 minutes each week, so I have no idea. I've never heard of Luggershaw. Obviously, no disrespect to anyone who lives there, but obviously I live the completely opposite direction, so I've never heard of the team. But again, obviously we're not gonna take it as a win. We're gonna work hard, and we're gonna put obviously everything that we do into practice, and obviously hopefully get the result into the second round.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, they'll treat it like a cup final, really, being a lower division club, won't they? So need to be on guard that they'll be up for it for the glory, really, coming to Warminster, particularly where we are in the league as well. So that's good.
Yeah.
Now, you said you're gelling very well with your teammates. I thought we'd have a little feature. I've not done this before on the podcast, but I'm going to call it Grass Up Your Teammates, Harry. So don't want to drop you in it, and we're not going to be rude to anybody, but just tell us a little bit in the team, who's the funniest?
Oof. The funniest. There's a few big characters in the changing room. Probably for entertainment value, it's got to be Ski. It's got to be Ski. Yeah, he's probably the loudest and the funniest. With just the things he says, is very entertaining, and it gets the laugh out of everyone. Obviously, winds up the gaffer as well, which is also quite entertaining.
Is that why he always starts on the bench 9 times out of 10?
Yeah, I'm not going to answer that one. I'll let Ski and Krabby answer that for you. But yeah.
Okay. Any practical jokers?
Oh, well, I wouldn't say there's any big jokers. I'll probably say, Ski's up there. Churchy is probably up there as well, and Jack Mullock. They're probably 3 of the big ones up there.
We'll keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
And let's go to the other extreme. Who's the quietest?
Oof. Well, if those three aren't nice and loud, I guess the majority are quite quiet. But if I had to pick someone or a few, Callum's quite quiet, goalkeeper, and Seth, Joel. So quite some of the younger lads are quite quiet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, good. Well, it's a nice mix, isn't it? It's all gelling very well indeed. Obviously, we've had a few injuries at the moment, waiting for to come back. So, how's Henry doing? Any news on him?
I believe Henry he is now out for the whole season. He has done it's either his ACL or MCL, so it's your knee ligaments he's done. Which is probably it's a 9-month obviously recovery.
Yeah.
And he's got to have an operation and things on it. So it's such a shame obviously to lose him, but hopefully he'll come back absolutely firing for next season, or obviously end of this season. Obviously with COVID and things, he might be back this season, depending on what the leagues do.
Yeah, and Lewis is getting a bit closer coming back as well, isn't he? He's not played, but he has been on the bench just in case, I think, hasn't he?
Yeah, Lewis is virtually, I think, there to be back. I don't know if he'll be in obviously contention for Wednesday, but I know he's very nearly fit, and I think these 4 weeks will actually help him out to get back to full fitness, which will be good.
Excellent. And we had a new keeper on the pitch on Saturday, Tom Druitt. Yeah, is he a permanent fixture now for us? Addition?
Oh, I wouldn't know. That's a question to ask the gaffer.
Right.
I'm not in with the transfers.
No.
It'd be more of a
It'd be good to have two keepers at least, wouldn't it? Though, from your point, nobody else pointed. Yeah, good, excellent. Well, I always, keep my ear to the ground. Just see what you know, Harry. Just see what you know.
Yeah.
Not trying to drop you in it.
Yeah.
Good. So it's all coming together nicely. So we're going to have a few weeks off. What do you plan to do to stay fit, etc., during the next 4 weeks while we have a lockdown?
Well, I'll be still at work. So, I'm a PE teacher, so I'll be still running around, doing all the sports with the children at primary schools. Obviously, the schools stay open. So obviously, I'll be keeping myself fit through that, and obviously, I'll have to go out and get fit. Obviously, all the gyms are shutting now, so I have to go out running a few times a week to keep myself ticking over. Because obviously, I guess if the gaffer catches us not doing it and we're unfit when we come back, I think we'll be up for a lot of running up hills and things. So best to keep fit.
You don't want that. At least you're in the right job, aren't you? A physical, PE teacher. That's quite a good job to be in for a footballer, to keep you fit.
Yeah, it's good fun. Really good fun.
Excellent. So how long have you done that for then, Harry?
Oh, PE teaching. I've been a football coach. I was a football coach at Yeovil since the age of about 17. And I was the under 18s assistant manager. Obviously, when I become 19, I become like the assistant of the under 18s at Yeovil, and helped out around at Yeovil. And then I become a PE teacher about 2 years ago. So yeah, it's quite good.
Good career move. Ties in with your football nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Brilliant stuff. Well, Harry, thanks very much for joining us on the podcast. I'm sure we'll speak to you again on the podcast again in the future, and along with many more of your teammates. And hopefully, whilst we've got the lockdown, we might be able to get a few interviews in while everybody's not quite so busy, which would be nice, and have them in the bag ready for future podcasts as well. So thank you once again, Harry, for joining us.
Anytime, Roland. Thank you.
Now, with the lockdown, with the COVID-19 situation for yet another month, it would be good to remember the people that perhaps we're not going to see, or those whose businesses are affected, who would normally be reliant on football clubs for their income, or at least part of their income. So 2 things really. Firstly, want to do the think of a fan. So the fans that you know, the people that you know at the club, your club, Warminster Town Football Club, or if you're listening and you support another club, the people at your club, remember them. It may be that Saturday is the only day they get out and meet people. Maybe just a phone call, a bit of encouragement, text message, just keep in touch, and just remember those fans who don't get that company and support they would normally have at a football match. Secondly, the businesses that are affected. We have to think of those who print the programs. For instance, I had an emailing Andy Meaden, who prints the program for Warminster Town, AM Print Copy. Now, a lot of his work is reliant on football programs and other things which have also been squashed due to COVID and the lockdown. So if you need any printing doing, or if you need any supplies from a supplier that supplies Warminster Football Club, then please look to them first and give them some support with the money that you need to spend. Spend it with someone that helps our club locally. And shop local. That's always a good thing to do, to support the local businesses in our area. So thank you for that. We certainly are hopeful that this is just a 4-week lockdown. We'll keep you posted on matches coming up. And remember, you can follow us on Twitter at WTFC Supporter, on the YouTube channel, our website warminstertownfc.com, and of course our Facebook page. So any changes, any announcements that we can make, we will do so through the various social media channels. It's time for the fans to have their say. And on our Facebook page, we have a comment from Martin Reed regarding our football club. And Martin says this: Warminster will challenge for the title if they get a decent central midfielder who just bosses that 20 times 20 yard area. That's all that's missing, says Martin. Shouldn't have lost to Bishop Sutton, and by all accounts the loss to Welton Rovers wasn't justified. Well, they're Martin's opinions. What do you think? Have your say. Come over onto our Facebook page and let us know, and we can publish your comments right here on our podcast. Okay, so we're back with Jamie, and it's time to take a look at the league tables and also take a look at that match that we have got coming up very soon. Some of our listeners will actually perhaps listen to this podcast after that match has taken place, because it's on Wednesday, November the 4th. But Jamie, first of all, let's just take a look at the league tables, can we please?
Yeah, well, it's as you were, I think, with the top three. Welton Rovers remain top. I don't believe they were playing in the league this season. I think they were playing in the FA Vars. They actually went 5-0 down to Bridgewater in the end. Corsham Town are second. They were away at Wincanton, and they get their very first draw of the season. So their winning run has come to an end. That was 2-2. Ashland Backwell are third. Wincanton are fourth. That's quite a turnaround for them. They have played a lot more games than a lot of the teams below them, but yeah, they're up there in fourth now. And Warminster Town round out the top five.
Nice to see. Excellent. And how's the bottom of the table looking?
Well, the Devizes Town are very much at the foot of the table, having not won any games still. They're down there on just 1 point. Then Longwell Green are above them in 19th. Oldham Dabertonians in 18th. Bishop's Lydiard in 17th, who managed to get another point this weekend, I believe. And Bishop Sutton are down there in 16th. That's a bit of a turnaround for them, Bishop Sutton, who had a really good start to the season. Now they're equal on 4 wins and 4 draws, which is a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, it's Western League football for you, isn't it? Anything can happen, and injuries could come along, or a player can be brought in, and things can chop and change quite quickly. So it can suddenly mean that you're at the top, then you're not. So we have to be aware of that fact as a team, Warminster themselves. Now we were very pleased that we had Ian Knockholes, the host of the Tool Station Western League podcast, with us on Saturday. Ian lives in Devizes, so he likes to support Devizes when he can, and he came along and he was helping us out on the live broadcast. So we thank Ian for that. It was great to have his match summaries. But he did assure me before the game that Devizes had a cunning plan, and that was to lose many of the games at the beginning so they could come up later and win them all and just fool everybody. The plan is still going on track, isn't it? They have lost, so... Sorry.
Well, apparently so, yeah.
Trying to mention that one, Ian, if you're listening. I know he did listen as well. But the Tool Station Western League podcast, folks, please do listen to it. You can find the link on warminstertownfc.com or go to Tool Station League and pick up the link from there, as well as Apple and all the other places that you will find it. What about the ladies table? How's that one looking now after another victory for Warminster ladies?
Pretty much as you were. FC Chippenham Youth are still top on games played. They have played 8, whereas Warminster have played second. Warminster are in second, again with the same unbeaten run. Highworth are third. Salisbury City are fourth. Melksham Town are fifth. Bath City are sixth. Milford Town seventh. Trowbridge Wanderers eighth. Ashton Keynes ninth, and FC Carn are still down at the bottom there in 10th.
They're struggling, aren't they? They're shipping goals as Warminster put 30. Yeah. So never mind, that's the way it is. But from a point of view of Warminster ladies, doing extremely well, unbeaten, as you say, and it's a game in hand, isn't it, over the team above? So is it 3 points gap? I can't see the table where I am at the moment.
It is, yes.
Yeah, it is. So if we win that game in hand, we'll be level on points. So, and of course, we had a draw against the top team, didn't we? So,
yes, the only 2 draws that both sides have picked up.
Yeah.
So all the rest have been wins. So yeah.
It'll be interesting when they get the return match against FC Chippenham there, won't it? So we have one more game to go then before the enforced break. So perhaps you'd like to tell us about that one.
Yes, Wiltshire Senior Cup. So we are actually in a cup game this season, as it turns out. We weren't sure about what was happening with the Wiltshire Senior Cup. It was a bit quiet on that front until a few weeks ago, I think, really, when we found out we were actually playing in it on Wednesday night against Wiltshire Senior League side Ludgershall.
Yes.
So that should be an interesting one.
That's it. We have to say it's Ludgershall Sports, because if you look them up, there's actually a Ludgershall United as well in one of them.
Oh, is there?
Yes.
Oh, right.
So Ludgershall Sports. So we look forward to welcoming them at Weymouth Street. And of course, we'll bring the match live for those who can't make it on the old YouTube. So please do make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. So we don't know too much about Ludgershall. I was talking to Harry about that, and he doesn't know much about them either. So, but they'll be up for it, a bit like a cup match, as we said to Harry. So,
yeah, just having a look at.
Well, it's just a cup match, but I mean, to them, like a cup final almost coming.
Well, yes, yeah. Just having a little look at the Wiltshire League, they are bottom with 9 games played and 9 defeats.
Oh well, we won't take it as read then.
Well, no, but yeah, it seems they haven't had a particularly great start to their season either.
No, we don't let them improve suddenly though on Wednesday, do we?
Well, no, nothing's a given.
No, that's it. So we'll look forward to the game. At least it will be one more match before we have the enforced break, and we'll hopefully it will only be the 4 weeks. Obviously, we'll all get the news on the television and radio wherever we get our news from at some point, if it does end on time or not. And then we'll wait for the FA and everybody else to make their minds up, because they're always the last to do so, aren't they, as well?
Mm-hmm.
But there you go. That's life. But Jamie, once again, thank you for joining us on the podcast. We look forward to seeing you on Wednesday evening. And for those who are listening to the podcast after Wednesday, well, you'll know the result by then as well. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Well, there goes the final whistle, and that brings this week's podcast to an end. We've hoped you enjoyed the Warminster Town Football Club supporter podcast. So before you go, if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe using your favourite platform. Thanks for listening.